Hey y'all, what's up? It's Friday, so I'm gonna keep it black, but I'm gonna keep it brief. So I'm here today to talk to y'all about American lore. What's that? Make it plain. Lore is defined as a body of traditions and knowledge on a particular subject held by a group of people, typically passed down from person to person by way of mouth. American lore is a body of traditions or knowledge on American history held by white people, typically passed down from white person to everybody else since Columbus sailed the ocean blue. For instance, when people indigenous to the North American continent were all but exterminated by genocidal attacks and removal, America told a story of conquest, victory, and actualizing manifest destiny, or destiny ordained by God for white people to expand across the continent. Where do they come up with this? Or when the Scottish, Irish, Germans, and Italians came over, after also immigrating from Europe for a better life, were spat on and treated like second-class citizens, America told a story of nationalism. The same goes for American Muslims, Hindus, Arabs, and Indians, but not the white people who made up the Capitol riot, the majority of mass shootings in American history, and Dylann Roof's inspiration, because America told a story that only foreign terrorism matters, and anybody who looks like they could be Middle Eastern is a threat to the American public. There's so much unlearning to do. And you know my personal favorite. When African slave traders were manipulated and African captains were stolen, captured, and dehumanized, America told a story of bringing them closer to Jesus. The pearly gates finna be a movie, boy. Or when lynching claimed thousands of black lives in the 20th century, when black neighborhoods were attacked and burned down in the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, and more than 60 race riots in the year 1919 alone, including the all-out mayhem and murder in Chicago, East St. Louis, Washington, D.C., and Elaine, Arkansas. Oop, I know how it's pronounced. I just feel like make it make sense. Anyway, when all those things happened, America told a story of defending white women's honor. Woo, the tea is hot today. And now Georgia has become one of the latest states whose state board has now banned critical race theory, with the support of Governor Brian Kemp talking about it's a dangerous ideology.
No, if you buck crime, no, if you buck crime, no, if you buck crime, no, if you buck crime.
No, what's dangerous is allowing politicians like you to sway the public opinion on whose history is dangerous and whose history is endangered, when the facts literally display violence at the inception of white presence on this continent. Okay, this one's a little personal because someone like me who was teaching on the ins and outs of systemic oppression in public schools and not just notable black history figures would have been out of a job. And there are some of us who believe that this isn't really a problem because there's no formal curriculum on critical race theory in Georgia to begin with. But the issue is that politicians are trying to prevent it from happening, because what they would much rather have you do is teach black history in isolated incidents so they can blame the successes and achievements of black Americans on exceptionalism and act like racism has only ever existed in the Confederacy and the Klan. Sheesh. And you know how I know this? Because it couldn't hide nothing from this black person in the book. Yes. But also because the state board took special care to specifically ban instruction on the New York Times 1619 Project, a project that recenters American history on the consequences of slavery and the contributions of black Americans. And do you know that this project, written, contributed to, and peer-reviewed by a number
Full
of
video
historians
on
with PhDs,
IGTV.
was criticized by several white historians?